I read a really disturbing article this morning with the BBC on work life, and it cited that 2.35 million US females in the workforce have suffered with burnout since the pandemic. 1 in 4 in the UK. Over 860,000 women in the US have left the workforce compared to 200,000 men. And that they stated that with over 5,000 people that were surveyed, 76% of the females, sorry, I beg your pardon, 74% of the females were stressed and burnt out. And we still have this situation where there's this imbalance in work where women are earning 82 cents compared to the dollar for men. And that's globally, not just US, that's globally. And there's also this imbalance with the level of work that they're giving or actually undertaking and carrying out. And what's contributing and compounding to that is that women at the moment, because of the pandemic, tended to be the ones that ended up not only being working from home and doing a full-time job, ended up fulfilling the role of the carer because the children obviously couldn't go to school. And as a result, they're balancing all the work that they've got, not just from a work life, but also from a personal life, and trying to be all things to all men, or should I say, women. There was also a growing concern from the CNBC that the recent survey that they carried out compared to previous ones, that the ambition of women into senior executive roles has plummeted, it's dropped. And they're concerned also not just for them, but also the impact it will have on the future because of this perception and the impact that it will actually have on our future generations, because the mindsets are pushing us back further into a situation where we've got limiting beliefs. And it's so fascinating that despite the fact that we have these challenges where we've got less opportunities for promotions, that we are fighting for our salaries and all those kind of things, it's compounding our limiting beliefs, because instead of the negative thoughts being frustrating towards the company or the environment or society leading to that, what it does is actually creates our own negative thoughts. And these limiting beliefs that we have are compounding our belief in ourselves to take up greater opportunities. And interestingly, one of the things that I've discovered over this last couple of weeks, I've been doing this event, which is called Tapping into Wealth. And it's been really, really interesting around this tapping into wealth, that one of the key elements surrounding finances and money and opportunities and our growth is that even when we get into these roles, high-level roles, these executive roles, our limiting belief about ourselves is saying that we're not worthy of the amount of salary that we're getting. So as a result, what we're actually doing is working harder to ensure that we're actually working to the level that we think that we're worth compared to what we're actually being paid. And then when you actually view that against our male, our male colleagues, they're actually working less hours or not working as hard because they don't feel the same need as us to be able to do that. We are compounding our own stress and anxiety and burnout because of the limiting beliefs that we've got. We're volunteering for activities that we shouldn't need to volunteer for. We're working longer hours because we don't feel we're worthy of the amount of money that we're actually earning for a role that we've worked hard to get to. So the question is how do we try to reduce that impact of burnout, anxiety, and stress? How do we stop that imposter syndrome? And how do we find ways to change the way we're doing things? Now, I believe that one of the key things is try to understand our patterns of behaviour that drive stress. Our key indicators for stress, such as headaches, memory loss, starting to get niggly in our arm aches, or feeling anxious and overwhelmed in certain situations. Now the question is how do we understand what's causing those situations? And how do we understand what's causing those limiting beliefs? Now, understanding our patterns of behaviour is a giant step to help us to move forwards. And we need to understand what those patterns of behaviour are. And then we can start looking at how we can change the limiting beliefs that are in our head, how we can turn them into a positive light, how we can take control of them and be able to put measures in place where we're responding to situations rather than reacting, trying to find logical approaches to change the way that we behave instead of having our emotional monkey kicking in and compounding the stress, the anxiety, and the burnout that we have. Now, I would ask you if you are one of those statistics that are either in the situation where you've got burnout or anxiety or stress, where you're in these roles where you are, you feel like you've hit that concrete ceiling, or you feel that you're not worthy of the role that you're in, or you would love to have a career movement, but your limiting beliefs are stopping you from achieving that, then I'd invite you to click on the link below in the chat and like a root cause analysis call with us first of all, and see what we can do about trying to tap into those limiting beliefs. Because 2.35 million just in the US alone having burnout in the last 2 to 3 years is just a sad place for us to be in. Imagine what those numbers are globally. Thank you for your time.